SpiceJet is on our radar now. The company has posted its fourth straight quarterly loss. In fact, revenues have fallen, higher operating costs and competition hits profitability in the first quarter. But the stock actually, surprisingly, is up about 6% at this point in time. S.L. Narayan, the Group CFO of the Sun Group, joins us now to talk about what's happening with the company and the way forward. Mr. Narayan, good morning, and thank you for joining us as always. There has been a lot of comments coming in from the auditor with respect to the company, stating that there are doubts over the company's ability to continue as a going concern. I want your statement on that. Is SpiceJet facing an imminent closure?
Morning, Sonia. This is something which has been happening for several quarters. It's almost, I think, 10 quarters in a row, because fact of the matter is our net worth has gone into the negative, and the auditors quite rightfully have drawn the attention of members and other investors to the point that the company's net worth has gone into the negative. That said, I think the way to look at this is, does the company have the wherewithal to survive and meet its obligations? And that's been proved beyond doubt on 3 different occasions in the recent past. Mr. Maran acquired a 38.5% stake in SpiceJet in October 2010. And as luck would have it, ever since that date, the industry has been into a very strict situation. So on 3 different occasions, a total of 550 crores has been infused by the promoter group. So the message that I want to communicate through your channel is, we are not going away in a hurry. We would survive, and we would be there another day to fight this battle. And the expenses that we have incurred during the most recent quarter, which are more in the nature of investments in my mind, because what we have done is we have cut off all the routes that did not make any financial sense. We've shut off destinations and stations where viability was in serious doubt. And with the result, we have a very, very efficient network, which necessitated that we give away 4 aircraft prematurely, as a result of which we had to pay some early termination penalties. And the redelivery of the aircraft, which would normally have done at the end of the lease period, got accelerated, and 4 planes had to be reconditioned and given back to the lessors, all of which added to these extraordinary one-time costs. But the short point is, with these expenses, we are facing a very, very different kind of P&L in the coming quarters, and I'm fairly confident that we would pull through.
Okay, Mr. Narayan, I need to persist with this question a little more. Your auditor report says that the company's total liabilities exceed its total assets by 1,145 crores. And these conditions indicate the existence of material uncertainty that may cast doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. Those were the very words. Now, while you may, your loss this quarter is 124 crores, while that may perhaps run down from the steps you have taken, there is a accumulated loss of 1,150 crores. What about that? Will this mean more promoter equity coming in?
Unfortunately, I can't say anything about the promoter infusion. I can only indicate what has happened in the past, because any announcement as to promoters' investments in the next few days or weeks is not something which is permitted by the SEBI guidelines. But suffice it to say that we have invested close to 1,400 crores in this company till date, and we would do whatever it takes to make sure that that investment is held in safe custody and doesn't unravel. To answer your question, we're well aware that these liabilities are far in excess of the assets that we hold on the books. But you must also realize this is a business where there is substantial float of cash, because people generally book in advance. And as you may have read from the press release, we have done a 79.5% load factor in the most recent month. So these are indications that show that the brand is very, very relevant, and there is a very strong customer franchise which helps us to generate the cash flow from the internal working capital cycle, which will keep the airline going.
Okay. I know, Mr. Narayanan, that, SpiceJet has been looking for foreign investors for a while. Given the state of affairs, the deterioration of the financials, do you think it will become increasingly difficult to get a foreign investor into SpiceJet, given that it could be, now it's become very easy for a foreign airline to, come up with a brand new project. So why would they want to invest in a company that in any case is going through quite a bit of a difficult patch?
I completely agree with you, Sonia. In fact, that's something which has, created a little bit of difficulty for us. As you rightly pointed out, it's much easier for an airline to come with a greenfield project and not buy into an existing airline which has all the legacy issues. In that sense, we feel a bit demotivated by the rule changes that have happened. And my personal view is that the government ought to have allowed the existing players to become a bit more stronger before foreign competition was allowed in. And not only has that been allowed, and 6 more licenses have been issued, so there's going to be a bloodbath in the quarters ahead, and which is the reason why we want to become a leaner and more focused airline. We will not be able to now spend as we have spent in the past, opening up Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. And that will be a casualty. So not many people are going to get into the boondocks now to connect.
Fair point. Mr. Narayan, you spoke about the steps being taken to make yourself a leaner organization. When would that mean black returns to your P&L? Can it return this quarter itself? Will it return in the second half or even further down?
I really wish I could answer this question, Lata. You know how strict the guidelines are for engagement with the media and the financial press. We have a very, very clearly laid out roadmap to become profitable, but unfortunately I can't spell it out in detail on TV. But I know it'll be sooner than later.
Okay, I just have one final question with respect to what's happening with the employees. I mean, there are so many reports that, employees' salaries are not being paid, Form 16 has not been given, and you guys are having tax issues as well. Could you clarify on all of that? And is it true that the company is finding it so difficult to raise cash for working capital that that's the reason why so many of these discount offers are being given so that volumes can be pumped up?
I'm so grateful to raise this question, Sonia. I can't thank you enough for this. Let me make it abundantly clear. Whatever stories that have appeared in the press about staff not getting paid on time is total baloney. There's absolutely no truth in that. And I don't know how people come out with such vicious rumors. You can talk to anybody who works in SpiceJet. We have never, ever delayed salary payments ever since Mr. Maran took control of this company. And whatever you have read in the papers, please dismiss them with absolute contempt. And on the other question that you just mentioned about tickets being sold on the cheap, we have the data points that speak for themselves. If you look at the last quarter, revenue per seat kilometer, which is the best measure of revenue maximization initiative in any airline, is up by almost 9%. So this would not have happened if we had sold them all cheap and threw the baby out with the bathwater. The new team has done an outstanding job in terms of stimulating demand and doing some active revenue management. As everybody knows, the marginal cost of flying one traveler is just a few hundred rupees per hour. So even if you get 1,000 rupees per hour of flying, it's 700 rupees contribution, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, and which is showing up in the RASK going up by almost 9% in the June quarter. And going ahead, I think our RASK is going to do even better because the kind of initiatives that were put in place have been even more fine-tuned this quarter. And I think we're going to be in much better shape in the months to come.
All right, best of luck for that, Mr. Narayan, and we will take care to check with you before we pick up any of the news reports. We don't do that ever. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks very much, Lata.